so they have advanced onto it a lot more quickly than a lot of other industries. Now it's gone forward to a lot of different businesses, including retail. And I've only really got this example here for a couple of reasons. One is Amazon.com is not something that made sense 15 years ago, but in this context, Amazon is a great business. They aggregate a lot of information, they make it easy for you to buy stuff, and then you've gotten used to this consumer model where you shop around, get a lot of information, and buy at the best price. It took a long time for people to transition to that mentality, and there would have been a lot of people that thought it was a crackpot idea that wouldn't make any money and it'd go bust in the first year, but they've been incredibly successful. Circuit City, which is the second icon there, I've pulled this from a US example. They're a bricks and mortar business that sold electronics and unfortunately didn't catch on to the shifts in people's demands and the way that they like to interact. So in this case, they actually went out of business because they've not been adapting to that shift in the way people want to buy products. The reason why this is interesting to me is it puts a question as to what your business's role is. It may make sense to separate the process of sales and distribution to a group buying site or other mechanisms that are perhaps a little bit more flexible than purely focusing on production or things like that. And it just highlights to me how much the market has shifted in the last 15 years. So I would argue that dynamic pricing does give you a more fair and efficient pricing structure. People who value time and flexibility in bookings are going to pay a premium, and the people who are looking for a bargain are going to be sitting at the TKTS booth. So if you've been in New York, you might have had a freezing winter day like I've done many a time, where you're sitting there going, okay, I want to see something, I don't really care what it is, but let's see what's a good deal. And in that way, we're giving everyone an economic benefit. You get to see something, you don't have to pay too much. An empty theater actually fills up a little bit more than what it was intended to do. So in that way, you can actually see a very clear example of the benefits. And as I said, with the electricity industry, there is a really serious issue in that front, where that last megawatt costs a lot of money. So what we're seeing in that industry is new products like critical peak pricing. So if you opt in 5 days of the year,